Welcome to the Cardboard Toy World, where we learn how to make mechanical toys out of cardboard. Everything you need to know is in this video. Be patient, be confident, and have fun. Welcome to the Cardboard Toy World. Today we're going to make this little walking robot. I call him a baby dinosaur. He's a baby because his head is so big, but his feet move, his arms move, and you can give him different faces. So, we're going to build this from blueprints. Let's get started. Here are our blueprints. First, we have our axle ends. The first thing we're going to do is build the axle that goes all the way across from arm to arm and through the legs. But then we're going to set that aside so that it dries. Next thing we're going to do is make the neck joint. Then we're going to make the head, and we're going to attach the neck to the head and set that aside so it dries as well. After that, we make our legs, and then we make our 2 feet. When we make our feet, we attach the legs to them. After that, we will make the arms. Now when we have the 2 legs and the 2 arms ready to go, we will then take the axle and attach everything together. After that, we will make the body and the shoulder plate. The body we will partially assemble and let it dry while we finish the head. The shoulder plate will wait to the very last step of the bodybuilding part of it. When the whole puppet is basically done, we will then make a face and we'll be ready to go. First thing we want to do is make an axle. So let's just start with the axle part itself. This is a bamboo skewer, pretty much a standard stick worldwide. They're pretty easy to find. The project is built around a bamboo skewer, so if you can find one of those, that's ideal. We want the axle to be 70 millimeters long, or 7 centimeters. So we just simply line up our stick and our scissors. Once we have it in the right place, this is the part that we need. Beware of the sharp point on this part. You want to make sure you get that out of the way so you don't hurt yourself. Now that we have our axle, next thing we need are our axle ends. There's no scoring on this. These are just 4 slips of cardboard. That's it. These are our axle ends. Now, this is one of the few instances where I really recommend using white glue. White glue is kind of a mess and it makes the cardboard really flexible. But when it comes to gluing cardboard to a bamboo skewer, white glue works best. You put glue, a good amount of it, all across one of these. You get your axle across the end of it. And you take the other one and put it on top like so. And what we want to do is we want to squish this together so that the 2 pieces of cardboard stick to each other, and most importantly, that they're tight around the edges of the stick. Having glue come out of it is great. We want to get our fingers off of it as soon as possible, and we replace our fingers with paper clips. Squish that up so that the cardboard is held right against the edge on both sides of it. And press those in. See how the cardboard is all the way around the bamboo skewer? That's important, and the white glue will hold it in there nice and securely. Now we'll do the same exact thing on the other side of the axle. Okay, now that we have our axle ready, we're just going to set that aside and let it dry. Next thing we're going to make is the neck joint. So let's just cut this out so it's a little bit of a smaller piece of cardboard to work with. And the first thing we like to do is our scoring. Now, this is like a whole bunch of boxes all put together, so the black and the red lines are really important. You keep the red lines, you cut the black ones. So let's go through and let's score all of our red lines just on the red line, because that way it will come together more neatly when we have it in our fingers. Usually the easiest to go all in one direction, then rotate your cardboard and do them all in the other direction. Now, paying very careful attention, let's do the hard cuts first. There's a right angle cut right there. This comes up. This also goes all the way to the middle. All along the top, we cut these straight lines because these 4 panels are going to go inside the head and hold the joint to the head. This bottom part here is going to be a T-shaped structure that will rattle around inside the puppet's body, giving the head a very large range of motion. So we fold the bottom part of the T together, and then we want to have these panels come over the top of it like this. Looks like this from the side. We'll do this one first. We bring this across, and then a panel comes underneath the bottom of the T and goes back up the other side. These 2 panels wrap around the middle. So when we're done, our T will look like this. There will be a panel here that will glue down on the outside and a panel here that will glue down on the outside. These 4 we're not going to touch right now. We're going to save those because they're going to go inside the head. So, to glue this, we go to our preferred glue, which is our glue stick, and we glue everything inside except not these 4 panels at the top. Otherwise, we want glue all over the place inside, but not these 4 panels. We'll save those for later. Once again, this comes across, forms the bottom of the T. This comes up, and both of these come over the top, like this. This one in the front rolls around, goes underneath. Here we can pause for a moment, give ourselves some glue on the outside of the bottom and the outside of this back panel. Bring this around and up to the top. Like so. Come around on this side. We could use some glue on the outside of these 2 panels here and here. And we wrap this around on the outside. Now spend a moment kind of toy making this when it's all still flexible. With the glue on it, you'll be able to get it together much more easily. You can fold these out to give it a little bit of structural integrity. But the 2 hardest panels to get in place are these 2 ones on the outside. We want to make sure that they stick together. Once we have our joint so that it will set nicely, we'll put it aside as well. The next thing we'll do is the head. So we'll go through and we will score all of our red dotted lines so that they'll fold nicely and where we want them to fold. This is a difficult skill. These two angled lines we need to score as well. And these long lines that go pretty much the whole length of the entire blueprint. Okay. First thing I'll point out is this structure here is a little bit different. This is going to be the hole where the neck is going to join, and this panel is going to flip over and create strength across this cut. All right, so we'll do that first. We come up here, do a right angle this direction and stop. Do a right angle in this direction, another right angle. We're just loving these right angles. There's our hole for our neck joint. And let's not forget this. Just stop right there at the red. The outsides of it are familiar. And also this way. So the first thing we want to do is all of our toy making with the head. So we fold all of our red lines. Before we attach the joint to it, we want to make sure that it all fits together perfectly, because we're going to glue it together later on. Right now, all right, this is the front of the head, this is the back of the head, there's the neck. These panels come in like so and glue to the back of the head. These panels go inside because when we tuck them around like this at these corners, they form a lot of strength on their own. They hold the head in shape by themselves. Those go all the way down. These two panels come across in the middle. This panel goes across on top of it. The little work, we can square this all up. So, toy making that I can see we need, you can see these corners are a little bit tight, so we will just cut a shave off of each of them. These middle panels didn't quite match up perfectly, so we'll trim them down just a smidge. And let's take a look again. We like the way that goes. We like the way that goes. The back comes over them. These panels go down inside, like that. These panels come across. These panels are also inside. And boom. All right, looking pretty good. This is going to be fine for our toy making for our head when we get to that. So, first thing we do is we attach our joint. So let's revisit our joint, make sure we're happy with the way it's coming together. All 4 of these panels from the joint go inside the head. So from the outside, we insert it like this. Now, it's very important. The joint goes across like this. Triangle, triangle, the joint is kind of lined up with the 2 triangles. That gives it the greatest range of motion. On the inside, these 4 panels are going to fan out like this to hold it into place. So, let us get glue all over the inside of here, and glue on the outside of each of these 4 panels. Now that's a little bit flexible, it'll be a little bit finicky, but that's okay. We can get them all in there. We have flexibility around our hole to work with, which makes it a little bit easier. We bring them all up and we just simply press them down until they begin to stay in place. Make sure our joint's going in the right direction, and it is. All right. We want to make sure that this is nice and solidly glued, so we're not going to finish the head yet. We're going to put this aside along with the axle now. Next thing we'll do are the legs. We'll make these one at a time. First thing we do, score all of our red lines. These 4 panels down here are going to attach to the foot. These panels will attach around the leg and will hold the axle to the leg. This will go across the very top. So we're going to partially assemble the leg, because to fully assemble it requires both the foot and the axle, and we're not quite there yet. So one step at a time. Do our legs. Okay, first thing we'll do is our toy making. This is very simple. This wraps around and becomes a box like so. This one folds across the top and down the side. This will attach to the axle. These will flare out and attach to the foot. So the only thing we need to do for this part of our project is glue this outside panel here, this inside panel here, and while we're at it, we can glue the whole inside of this. We put those two together. This comes across the top, and we'll put glue on the outside of this panel as well. Make sure it sticks as well as it can. Now, sometimes we come into a problem like this, where the inside panel isn't quite flush to the outside panel, so we use a pencil to take care of that problem. You can use a pencil to reach down all the way across the entire length of that panel and press them together like so. If you fold this out, it also gives it a little bit of structural integrity. At the top, just make sure that this looks good. The outside here is coming together just fine. So there's one leg. Now we'll make our second leg. First thing we want to do is score the red lines. Once we have it scored, we'll go ahead and cut it out. Toy making for this, the same as before. All we want to do is get the shaft of it finished right now. This is going to come around like so. This comes across the top and down. All of these panels will stick out and attach to the foot. This we will use to attach the axle. So, let us start with the inside panel here. Or actually outside. This is inside. This whole length. Bring these two around to meet. And we'll put some glue on the outside of this panel. Bring this down across it. Get this all lined up. Use our pencil again to get this panel securely glued the full length. We don't want our little robot to fall over. All right, we can bring those out for a little structural integrity. This we're going to leave alone. Now we have two legs finished. Next thing we do is the feet. So let's cut these into 2 different pieces of cardboard so it's a little easier to handle. And the first thing we'll do is score all the red lines. With that done, we'll go ahead and cut it out. Okay, all of these panels are going to go inside, so we'll fold these like this, and all along all of our red lines to make sure that when we do our toy making, we can make sure it fits together correctly. All right, all of these panels go inside like so. This wraps across the top of the foot. Already we can see that we need some toy making. These corners could be a little bit neater. So what we do, this is so often the case, we come in here and we just trim a little bit off of the edges of these corner panels that add a lot of structural integrity to it and are also good for decoration because they make sure that our corners look good and nice and clean and sealed. So we go across on all 4 of those, make them a little bit smaller. Now, this will solve part of our problem. We bring this across and this up, and we see right away that our corners definitely look better, but we're still a little bit wide. So both of these top panels on our foot, we'll also trim them down a little bit. Now, these 3 panels have been trimmed and these 3 panels have been trimmed. When we put them inside now, bring this over the top, it fits much more neatly. The next thing is this is going to come over the top as well. This comes up from the back and wraps all the way around the foot. So does this one, wraps all the way around the foot, okay? This gives a lot of strength to these 2 surfaces, how they're glued down. Why do we need that? Because that's how we're going to insert our foot. Our foot's going to go right there. This will wrap around the back of it. These 2 short panels will fit right across the top, and our foot will end up locked in place like this. First thing we'll do, put glue on the underside here and here, on the top of this, all along under here. Let's see, top of that little guy, the top of this one, top again, and this entire surface here covered with plenty of glue because the foot's going to stick to this, and so will all the anchors that hold the foot together. So we have all this together. We also need glue all along the underside of both of these panels, whole length of it. We'll put more glue on the outside of the foot in a moment. Once again, all of these small panels go inside. This wraps around them like that. This comes up and over. So now we take on the leg, long tab at the front of the leg goes towards the front of the foot. Long tab on the front on the leg also goes to the back of the foot. These two short tabs on either side fit across the top of the foot. It doesn't matter which side this is on, so don't worry about that. And now we just put our toy making skills to work and get our foot locked in place. Our foot and our leg are now one piece. Now we'll go through the same process with our second foot. We score our red lines. Now, since we know we need to do toy making on these little panels at the ends of the foot, the front of the toe and the heel, we can go ahead and we can do some of that right now. We know that these need to be angled in, so we can do it as we go along. One of the nice things about making parts more than one at a time is you get to become a little bit of an expert at it. Our long heel panel and our long toe panel with a gap for the leg. And once again here, we'll do a little toy making right off the bat. Oops, forgot this corner over here, didn't I? Okay, let's fold all of our red lines. Bring all of these up. Okay, same as before. All the little ones go inside. This wraps up over the top. Notice how easily that happened this time because we've already done our toy making. This comes over and wraps all the way around. The scores on this are a little bit off. See how that's a little bit rounded like that? Okay, this is sometimes happens with the thickness of the cardboard. Depending on the thickness of the cardboard, it will happen differently. We can usually just kind of use our fingers to work a crease into it. That will be good enough for our toy to stand. So we'll consider that our solution here. come up a little bit, just fold that a little bit differently. Same thing with this one, come up just a little bit. Use our fingers to squish another fold right next to the first one. All right. Once again, glue on the inside here, either of these ends, top of this as well. Tops of all three of these. The underside of this panel where it's going to glue to those short ones. And then the underside of both of these panels. We'll use plenty of glue. This glue stick is very soft. Makes it a little bit difficult to work with. But we will survive. So, all the little panels go inside. This comes across the top. These panels come across here. And this is when we stick in our foot, our leg, which I forgot to glue again. Even with those scores a little bit off on the sides, it looks fine and it squares up well enough so we have a good flat surface for it to stand on, and our leg is solidly attached. Next thing we'll do is make our arms. We'll cut both of them off and leave them together so we don't make any mistakes. We'll do this arm first. First thing we'll do is we will score all of the red lines. And then we will cut it out. Now, one thing I would like you to notice about this are these two notches, this notch and this notch. Those are going to match up to create a square hole where the axle will go through. That square hole is a very important part of the structure of the puppet's arms. So be sure that you cut those nice and carefully when we get to them. You don't want to go too far. Go to the end of the line, to the end of the line, and then just snip it across right on the line as best you can. You'll see how that comes together. It creates a very strong hole for the axle to go into, and we will attach the axle to the arms. We're going to do all of that at once. So we're going to toy make both arms before we attach the axle to either of them. And we'll do the whole thing at once. Cut it all the way to the end, then across. Down here. Down here. And across that. First thing we'll do, fold all of our red lines. This is a little bit flimsy at first. It adds a lot of strength to it later on, but right now, this is a little bit flimsy, so be careful. here's how the arm goes together. This over here, these panels are the hand, so we'll leave that alone for right now. What we want to do is we want to see how these notches come together. This rolls all the way around inside like that. This comes across the top. And these two will match up to create that little square hole, which is where the axle is going to go. These two panels, the flimsy ones, they go down first together like that. These two half panels come across the top of them, and this folds across on the top. When this is all glued together at the end of the arm is very strong, and the axle will be inside. So, we're happy with the way the toy making works on that. Let's just look at it one more time. This will roll all the way around inside, forming almost a complete box right there. This comes across the top to create our square hole. These two panels go down together. The half panels go over the top of them, and then the end comes up. Once we have that together, this small panel just goes across and holds things square. This comes across on top of it. This is the bottom of the hand. And this just wraps around like so to become the hand proper. That's how the arm will be made. This one's pretty good. We don't need to do any toy making on this, and so what we're going to do is make the next one. So for this arm, we'll score all the red lines. And we cut it out just the same. To the very end. Get that notch as accurate as you can. All right, toy making again. Careful with these. Careful again. All right. Once again, hold it like this. This rolls all the way around. This one comes across on the top. There's our square. These two go down together. The halves come across on top of them. The end comes across all of it. And once again, this came out pretty well without requiring much toy making at all. Now we have both of our arms ready. All right, now we're going to attach the axle to the arms. So the trick is, how do we get get the axle through the hole with the end of it inside the arm? There are two different ways we can do that. Our axle should be dry enough now for us to take the paper clips off and work with it, but it's not completely dry, so we still want to be a little bit careful with it. So I'm going to show you both methods for attaching the axle to the arm. The first method we're going to do goes like this. We take the axle and we don't trim it. We don't do anything to it. We just bend these edges over a little bit, like so, and put it aside so it's ready for us to grab. Once again, this rolls all the way inside like that, but this time we're going to stick our axle in here, like that. You see how we have this kind of pressing out against the sides like that? Very important. When we have our axle sticking out like this, we bring this across the top. These two go down together. Short ones across them, big one across the top of the whole thing. Now, when we glue this together, what will happen is this axle will be attached to the arm. So if the axle moves, the arm moves. That's the effect we're looking for on this side. Here's how we make that happen. We put glue on the inside of this panel and on the inside of this panel, as well as inside here, on the insides of all of these ends. We can do the hand later, so we'll just work on this side of it now. So on the inside of all of this, we want plenty of glue. On our curved end, on the outside of both ends, like so. Once again, we roll this around, but this time with this stuck in between them. This goes down here, this comes across the top just like before. This will all now stick together. We can get some glue on the outside of this. Two short ends, a long end, and look at that. Now we have attached this axle to the hand. This end is still open, so we can look inside and we can see where the ends of the axle are gluing to the sides, and make sure that we press them against it with a pencil. Now when I turn the axle, I turn the arm. That's the effect we're looking for on this side. Depending on what you're trying to do with your puppet, if you are wanting it to be more robot-like, these solid motions can be nice. I'll show you the other side, which has a much greater range of motion to it, which you might also enjoy. But first, let's finish our hand. Glue across the top of that, all along the underside of both of these long panels. And on the outside here and here. Square one comes across by itself. This lays down across the top of it, just locks it in place. The arm comes around and just sticks on the other side of the arm. The hand comes around and sticks on the other side of the arm. All right. Now we have one arm locked in place. Now that we have one arm that is locked to the axle, so if I spin the axle, I move the arm, we're going to do the other arm in the opposite way, so that the axle and the arm move independently of one another. The way we do that is we come over and we just cut about 5 millimeters away from the edge of the stick, and we trim it on both sides. So now, rather than having those long panels that we glue to the sides of the arm, now we've just got these short panels that are going to float around inside. The assembly method is going to be exactly the same. We roll this around. This will be a little bit more difficult because there's an arm hanging off the other side of it. You put this inside. This comes across the top. These two big panels go down first, short ones over them. The final one caps the whole thing off. And now you can see this is going to move all over the place. Completely different kind of action than we have on the first arm. So you choose which one you like. You can do them the same way I'm doing here, one of each. That works well. Whatever works for the toy experience that you're looking to have. All the way around inside. Like so. We'll bring our anchor around, put our axle inside, glue it up back there. Bring our notch across. Two big ones go down first, two little ones come down second, and there's our third one, holding it all together. And there we go. Now we've attached the axle to this side. Same toy making on the arm for the hand. Down this side, and down this side. Square one goes first. This holds it in place, creates the bottom of the hand. This just comes around and sticks to the other side of the arm to create the hand proper. You can just see by the way we're holding it how different they are. This one goes anywhere. This one rotates with the axle. Now we've got our arms attached to our axle. All right, next thing we're going to do is attach the legs to the axle. The legs go in between the two arms, and here's how that's going to work. This folds across the top like that and creates a little triangle. The front panel goes to the bottom of the foot or to the top of the foot. These panels come around the sides and give it a nice strong grip on the leg to create this triangle where the skewer goes through. This also enables us to attach the leg now rather than before. We kind of built the arms onto the leg, but these we can attach afterward. So we lay our axle in the middle here. We're going to bring this across the top and pull those two panels on the sides down, and this leg will now be firmly attached to the axle. To make that happen, we put glue inside here, but the two panels that are going to be right around where the axle is, these two panels here, avoid getting glue on those. We don't want to glue it to the axle. We also need glue all the way down the front of the leg, like so. We put our axle in here, try not to get any glue on it, bring the front of the leg across like this. These two panels go down on the sides. And press it into place. So that our leg is held in place. Now, there's a consideration when it comes to your feet. You notice that the feet have this gap on one side. You can decide if you want that gap on the outside or the inside. So, if you want it on the outside, you would slide this foot over here so that the gap is on the outside. If you're going to attach feathers or sequins or something to his feet, having this gap can be very nice from a craft making point of view. If you're just looking for a clean surface to paint, perhaps you'd just rather have something more solid like this. So for my purposes, I'm going to leave it solid on the outsides. we're going to bring this foot and we're going to attach it the exact same way that we did the other one. So this time we'll remember to put glue out on these surfaces as well. Here and the front and at the top of this side. Inside here, but not the two panels that will go across the axle. It's not a catastrophe if we get glue on them, but we'll avoid it if we can. Bring this back. Put our axle in between. Bring the front panel all the way down to the front of the foot. These two go across at the very top of the leg. And we press this into place to let it dry. Okay, now you can kind of see how he works. He's got 2 feet coming off of one axle and there's 2 arms coming off of the same axle. So we'll set this aside and let that dry. Next thing we'll do is the shoulder plate and the body. Now the shoulder plate, very important piece, but there's not much to it, and so we don't want to lose it. So we're going to make this first and put it someplace special so it doesn't escape into our trash by accident. Shoulder plate lays across his back and on either side of his neck and then down his front. And his primary purpose is to cover over the slot that we use to insert the head. But this is all there is to it. We do our toy making. Very simple. But we don't want to lose it. So set that aside so we know where it is. Now we're going to work on the body. First thing we do, all of our red lines. When you do these long lines, be sure you press against the ruler as well as down. It's not an easy skill, it takes a little practice to get it developed. Down here, don't forget these long, thin panels. These are structurally crucial. All right. This one also has a strange little hole. This is the hole where the head will go through. This is the slit that was remaining after we're done toy making it that we're going to cover up with the shoulder plate. So let's go ahead and cut this weird one first. We come all the way across to here. Almost looks like we're cutting it in half, but we don't quite go the whole distance. Then we make our hole where our neck joint will go. Now, some of you who are more engineering minded will realize that that hole can be lots of different shapes. It doesn't have to be a square. It could also be a circle. It can be bigger than it is. It can be a little bit smaller than it is. All of that affects the way the head moves. So once you get a handle for how to make it like this, maybe the next time you make one, you can play with that effect a little bit. Always a good idea to think in terms of making mini toys. This exercise is very good for you in many ways, and the toys are wonderful. You can see the 2 notches that we've got on this. These notches work the same way as the notches on the arms, but just a little bit differently. And that's where the axle is going to go when we attach it to the body. So we managed to do all of this without punching any holes. And it works beautifully. Notice here, we come all the way up to this red line and then stop. This is just a 5mm wide panel at the very bottom, but it's really important, so don't skip that. Here we come up and we stop at the red line. This middle one is a T. We come up, we come in both directions. First this way, stop at the red line, and then this way, stop at the red line. Okay. We'll do our toy making first for the whole thing, but we are coming into the final process now, and making the body and attaching the arms and the legs and the head and all of that is all part of one process. So first thing we're going to do is partially assemble the body, let it get a little bit set. That's what we're going to work on now. Get these folds for the little 1/2 centimeter, 5mm panel nice and neat. These folds too. Make sure that this is good and tight. There's one there, and there's another one over here. All right. Now, for the toy making here, this joint is a very important one. So it's done in kind of a funky manner. These two go around each other like this, and then this comes up on the outside. So that when we're done, we end up with a panel that looks like this. Glued together inside here, glued together outside here. This little guy gives it a lot of integrity for coming into a nice square corner like that. So let's glue that before we do anything else, because we're going to keep coming back to it and making sure that it's in the right position. So we may as well have it done right off the bat. Outside of this, underside of that. These come around like so. This comes up like this. And let's line it all up so that it looks good. We want this corner to be really square. This is the most difficult corner, and so we'll do this one first. Always a good idea to start with the hard part. All right. This side of it, just glue on the outside here, and on the underside here, this comes up and just rests square against the front edge, like that. Back here, same thing. On the inside of the little panel, on the outside of the body itself, and we square these up. Check our first one, make sure it's looking okay. Didn't move, so far so good. This panel here, inside of the little one, outside of the body, and square it up at the back corner. All right, looks very good. Now we want these two panels at the top to come down on the outside as well, on both sides. We can get our fingers in there now, and so we're going to do this now. It's easier. Glue on the outside of the body, and glue on the inside of this panel, and also on the inside of this panel, and on the outside of the body on this side. These come down, and the inside corner matches up, like so. press it together and it should hold. Same thing on this side. This one's a little bit more difficult because there's no crease here. There's no cardboard there. We created that gap on purpose. We need that to get the head inside, which we'll see how that works in just a moment. But at this point, we just want to let this set for a moment. Let's check our first joint again. Still looks good. All right, so at this point, we're just going to stop working on the body and let that dry along with the arms and the legs. Next thing we're going to do is make our head. We've been waiting for this for quite a while. We make sure that our joint is nice and locked in there, and that looks pretty good. And yes, it's definitely facing the right direction, so we're good on that side too. So to assemble the head, first thing we're going to do, we're going to bring these panels up and the back across it, and then put these down inside. You remember this from when we did our toy making. We want all that glued together first. So glue along the bottom here and along this panel there, along the outside of these two side panels, and the entire inside of this panel. This comes up, that meets at the red line. This comes up over it, this comes up over it, and we glue our back together. Like so. Okay, now glue on the outside of these two panels. And we slide them inside here and press them against the inside to create square corners at the top back of the head. While it's still a little bit flexible, we have some toy making room. These panels are going to go down like this. This is going to lay down across the top of it. We don't need this to be massively glued, but it's okay if we get glue all over everything in here. These panels will go on the outside, so we'll glue them as well. And we'll glue the insides of these two panels at the same time. So let's put these in first. We can get our finger in there and kind of press them so that they glue against the side. These two big panels come across the top. That goes over them like so. We're almost done with our head. Last thing, glue along underside here and top side here. And this panel gets glued down to seal it all together. All right. Now we have our head. Now let's take a look at our body. What we want to notice is that when we put this across the top, we don't just glue this on the outside. What we want to do is we want to slip the panel in between, or like in between the notch, so that this part is on the outside, but this part is on the inside. So it will fit in like so. As you can see, our hole will match up on the side like that. So our axle is going to be going through that hole. This will glue on the outside, and this will glue on the outside. So it flips from one to the other. We need to do that on both sides at the same time. It's a little bit tricky to make that happen. So give yourself some time and be patient. The axle is going to fit right in between there. But before we put the axle in, let's get our glue in place. We need glue on the inside here And we need glue on the inside here. So both of the insides on that, see? We need glue on the outside of this end of the panel on both sides. And we need glue on the inside of this panel, of this end of the panel, again on both sides. And finally, glue outside here and outside here. Now that we have all of our glue in place, we can insert our legs and arms. Now when you look at this, it's going to seem like, wait, that's too big, it's not going to fit, but it does. You put your feet in from the front like this, and you rotate them through. Keep your arms on the outside, and your feet will just pop out the bottom. Now you take your axle and you put it inside that notch. Look at that. Now our feet and our arms are attached. These come on the outside at the top and on the inside down below. This is a little bit easier to do when it's flexible. So it's outside up here, inside down here. We've got glue where we need it, so it all sticks together. Make sure this back corner stays square. You see mine moved a little bit. That happens because there's no anchor on this part. This will be stronger, this will be weaker. All right, last thing, let's lift this up and get glue inside here, both of these. And glue that front panel down in place. All right, now our little guy has got arms and legs. Only thing that's missing is his head. Now, to insert the head, we very conveniently made sure that at the back of the body, we have a place where we can get it in. So you go, this one goes in first. This one can kind of rotate around and you shove it in there. This little curl and this little weak link right here, we're going to fix with the shoulder plate. The shoulder plate goes in like this. Goes across the top, lays it way down his back and way down his front. So, before we attach the head, let's get all of our glue in place. And I notice that on my head, I have a little bit of a problem here. This panel came up, so we'll just take a second to reinforce the glue on that. Make sure it stays down. Little head repair. For the shoulder blades, or for the shoulder panel, we need glue all around inside of it. The entire thing sticks to the puppet. So we put glue everywhere in here. On the outside of the puppet, we definitely want to have glue along the top of the shoulders. This is an important spot for the shoulder plates to attach. Also down on either front, on either side of the front, like this, where those two strips will go down in the front, and all around the back, just towards the top of it, where the panel is going to stick from the shoulder plate. Once again, we take our head, make sure it's going the right direction. This is how he faces forward. Put the back one in first, kind of spin that around, drop it in. Now our head is attached. It is not solidly attached, it can move. Slide those through, bring this down on the back, and we can pull it in place with these in the front. And you can't really get your fingers in there anymore, so the underside of his head is now pretty much in place. Now we've got him. His head can move, arms move, feet move. Okay, one last thing we're going to do, and let this dry for a second. We're going to make a face. Your blueprints come with 3 faces. You can print several copies of just this page, so you have several faces you can make. If you are a filmmaker or just really into playing pretend, it is awesome to be able to change your puppet's expression while you're playing with it. So now we have one isolated by itself. We try to keep the faces as simple as possible so that you can make a lot of them without too much effort. This one is pretty simple, and it fits all the way around the top of his head and stays in place quite nicely. This is also a pretty big face, so you have lots of room to work with for decorating it and putting expressions on it. You can see how it works. These are the 2 sides. This is the front. The rest of it is just there to cuff around the edges and hold it in place. All right, our toy making first. Crease all of our red lines. Now for the toy making part of this, in my opinion, it's important to have this smooth surface on the outside of the face because it's better for decorations. So the easiest way to make that happen with this one is to do it like that. So this panel goes on the inside and this panel comes around on the outside. That way we get the most amount of space around his eyes, around his snout and his mouth up here, however you want to do it. These back here also should go on the outside just because it's easier to square it up that way. And that's how we're going to create our face. Go ahead and glue it together. We need glue on the outside here and on the inside here, on the outside here and on the inside. We want these to be on the inside, so glue here and glue here, glue here and glue here. Then on the outside of this end and the underside of this panel, underside of this panel, and the outside, where is it? Over here. Okay. The 2 triangular panels we put inside. These 2 front panels we bring on the outside like so. Square it up. Same thing up here, square that up. On this side, the panel along the front goes in, the panel along the snout comes out. And we'll square that up as well. Up here on the outside so we can see what we're doing, keep it square. Also makes it so that the inside slides on and off the head nice and easily. Make sure that these edges here stay together. And there we have our face. All right, congratulations, you are a toy maker. Look at this beautiful little guy. One arm moves the axle, the other arm can just kind of move wherever it wants to. The head goes around, can nod, looks great from the side. He can walk. He can also stand in a couple of different ways. You'll find out that he can stand on his own. And of course, we can put faces on him. So we can look really cool in many different ways. Congratulations, beautiful work. You are a toy maker. Thank you for coming to the Cardboard Toy World. We hope you enjoy your toy. This project met several international educational standards in engineering, mechanics, geometry, and design. Now you're a toy maker and you know more about how the world works. We can't wait to see you again.